morning, everyone. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Morning, Chris. Morning, Alison. How are we, team? See a few of you jumping on right now. Hope you're all awesome and well, wherever you are. Welcome along to the Daily Show. Hello, amigo. Ashley, how are you, mate? Good to see you. Luke, good morning to you, buddy. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. It was a bit of a long weekend here on the Gold Coast. Gold Coast Show Day. But on the weekend, I did a little bit of one of my passions, my hobbies are climbing. And on the weekend, did some live stream events and some live stream commentating of our Queensland Youth Championships here in the Gold Coast. So kind of fun, kind of cool. Yeah, it went well, Alison. It was a lot of fun. So there you go. Hey, welcome. Good to see a bunch of you guys on already this morning. Quick intros. Most of you know this already, but if you don't, if you're brand new, you're popping by, say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're coming from. Let us know if you're new. I know there's a bunch of new members always coming through with new coaches and new investors. Well, not new often, but new to us. So give us a shout out, say a quick hello in the chat. Let us know what's going on for you. Hope you're well, if that's the case. And what we've been doing probably for I might go back and find out how long we've been doing this, team, but it's been close to 3 years. I think we've been hanging out in the mornings and around about 10 past 8 each day having a bit of a chat. Ended up calling it a Wealth Coffee Chat over there. And along the way, sharing a little bit of wisdom with you guys from what I've learned and what I've learned from helping, thousands and thousands of property investors across Australia and New Zealand in the world of in the game of property investing. So we've been going through the last week. Well, last week we attempted to get through 5 property wealth models that I've created to help communicate and teach the things that I've learned over time. And I thought I'd get them done in one day. And as many of us have had a bit of a laugh, including myself, now we're on day 6 of trying to get through them. But I think it's been worth it. I've been enjoying, communicating this stuff with you guys. So today is model number 5. And we're going to go through that in just a moment. It's called the tax-free matrix. It's a good one. And all of us need to understand and know how we can manage our world of, tax minimization. It's an important thing because it is a large expense for most of us as investors, certainly property investors. We have some exposure to some extra costs that we need to manage and minimize as we roll along. So that's what we're going to look at today. Alexis, good morning to you. Paul, good morning to you. And all the rest of you on there. Good morning to you guys. Let's do this. Let's get into it. Let's have a bit of a look at what we're going to have a bit of a sticky bit at today. Now, listen, we've been going through. Let me go back here, just quickly do an overview with the property wealth system. If you're jumping in today and go, where are these guys up to? Well, I think it was Monday or Tuesday last week, we went through the property wealth system. Go back and check that one out. We talked about the 3 stages of wealth. Pretty important to understand this in relation to where you are and where you need to go and what you need to do at what time. And the plans, the 7 property wealth plans. Which plan goes where and why and what? And certainly I might dive into those plans as well as we go through in the next little bit. And the income engine, we talked about that. Weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly income, how you spread your diversity of income. And today, folks, we're going to talk about a little matrix which I call the tax-free matrix. And see if that makes a little bit of sense, huh? See if that makes a little bit of sense. Tell me, at the top here, we've got a little interesting box at the top. Tell me what you guys think these words might be up here. There's the little, there's three, well, call it 5 letters. The P, the W, the M, the T, the E. What do you think those stand for up the top there? This tax-free matrix, driving, there's 4 lanes of tax-free wealth. I'm going to talk about those today. At this point in time, this is accurate and true in the Australian tax system. How can you take advantage of them? How can you plan tactically? This is about tax planning, not about tax avoidance. But what do you think those letters stand for up there? The P, the T, the W, the M, the E. What do you guys think? Chuck it in the chat for me if you think you know what they are, because this is what it's all about this morning as we roll into the tax-free matrix conversation. So let me jump in there because I think the delay on line's a little bit slow, and sometimes you guys are in places where you can't type. But let me jump in and have a little look here. All right, the E stands for exit. People talk about an exit plan. Equity. You can use equity for exit for sure, Ashley. That is for sure. E is exit. What exit? What destination? What goal? An exit plan. Now, a little bit of this, certainly there is one of these legs that suit business owners very, very well. Okay, so for some of us, we might be looking at the PAYG world, the career-driven path, where you work for someone else. Perfectly fine. I think that's fantastic. Matter of fact, many entrepreneurs would wish they had a regular, solid income from a job that I've spoken to. So let's do this. Exit plan. This is time. We use our money. To buy back our time, and we do that through creating profits and ultimately having some significant wealth, right? An exit plan, which is about time and money, time to spend with your family and money to do what you want, is ultimately created by having profits from assets, and that wealth is stored in those assets, right? So that's kind of the conversation here this morning, which we're looking at. There are 4 things. There are 4 things that can be structured tactically for us to have a tax-free exposure in the world of property when we have a look at it. Shout out in the chat if you know what the 4 tax-free opportunities are in the world of property investors as we speak today, folks. Does anybody know? Chuck that in there, and away we go. Number 1, I'm going to dive in anyway because we certainly find ourselves often. Yeah, boom, Ashley is all over it. Morning to you, Aaron and Sonia. Yeah, boom. All right, your principal place of residence. Folks, your home is capital gains tax-free. Now, one of the challenges with your home is that it's technically what's called a bad debt, a debt that when it comes to qualifying for lending has technically no income, and then does you a little bit of a disservice from a borrowing point of view. However, if you do it well, your principal place of residence is tax-free, capital gains tax-free, by the way. And we run a strategy. We talk about the strategy, which is the upgrade strategy, right? And I've talked about this once or twice before. Principal place of residence upgrade strategy. Every single one of you should be sitting there thinking, at some point I'll downsize or maybe pass on, my home, and I don't want to pay any tax when I do that, okay? If you're going to give your principal place of residence to your children, make sure you're structured properly for that. And then if you're going to upgrade your principal place of residence, then understand what that looks like. Many of us can have multi-million-dollar principal place of residence downsize strategies tax-free, okay? Do you have a Prince Place residence upgrade strategy, downsize tax-free strategy in place for your personal home. I hope you do. Now, number 2, your income at this moment in time. What is the tax-free threshold strategy? Now, I'm going to put this over here somewhere. I'm going to put this here. 100 and I think it's 110. Income. What is the tax-free threshold for you as an individual on your income? Tell me that. Tell me that, folks, in the chat right there. There it is. I think I might. Did it go up 19,000 or 18,200? 18,200 plus. It's around there. Anyway, I'm sure I've got it tucked away. It's around, I think it's close to 20 grand. But there you go. Income. You can have a tax-free income in your personal names times 2 with you and your partner. Close to, let's call it, I'll round it up, close to 40K. Okay? So you and your partner, close to 40K tax-free. And that's pretty good. Now, how can you do that? Both of you need to have 1 or 2 properties at a very minimum. Let's call it 2 properties, creating that net income. Yeah, I agree, Sonia. Over in Singapore, I can't remember, like I was there many years ago, but over in Singapore, it's like, no one pays tax if you don't earn over $60,000. Like, I think that's a good thing, because let's face it, folks, under 40 or 50 grand, you're using all that money to live on and consume and, pay it forward out into, businesses in society anyway. Anyway, there you go. So you've got a tax-free income in your personal names. And who said it before? Ashley, Sonia. You have 2 tax-free opportunities in your super. Maybe put that in the chat if you know what it is. I'll dive in and say what it is, right? So just so we know, I'm going to reverse back here. There's no limit. Unlimited. Unlimited principal place of residence tax-free. And you can sell, now, you don't go and buy and sell every year. But if you bought and sold a principal place of residence, 4 to 5 times in a lifetime, every upgrade is capital gains tax-free. And you'll see some record, sales of principal places of residence by very wealthy people. And that money, folks, is tax-free. Tax-free. There you go. Super. There you go. Boom. So you have 2 thresholds in your super. And I'll do it as an individual, but you can do it as a couple, right? 1.7 million of tax-free assets sale, and Sonia saying, okay, no capital gains tax on the sale of a property in super. Yep, that is true, up to a threshold, especially in retirement, especially when you've kicked it into retirement phase. And also, you don't have to pay any tax on the income created by that 1.7 million, and that's approximately, call it $80,000 if you're doing a 5% return on 1.7 million. So tax-free, 80K. Oh, I think I ended up. Tax-free, 80K. So when you're adding it together, you've got a tax-free income down here of 110K per person already in the system, folks. This is not like coming up with some fancy, scheme to avoid things. This is absolutely available to every single person in the Australian tax system right now. And as far as I'm concerned, I think real estate takes advantage of this the best, by the way. And you can increase your tax-free income, certainly in this space, right? You can increase your personal tax-free income by owning properties that you can depreciate, right? So you could have $20,000 worth of depreciation, earn another 20 grand extra from your rental properties, and still pay no tax on that, folks. All right? So there's some good things there. Okay? So what else? What's the 4th one here? Does anyone know? This is particularly for business owners. This one's particularly for business owners. And there's a few hoops to jump through this one. But if you're a business owner listening in, there is a capital gains tax-free threshold for you when it comes to business and selling a business, owning a business, and at some point in the future selling a business. Tell me what that is. Does anyone know what that is? You can sell, yep, the sale of a business. Yes, Ashley, 100%. And folks, at the moment, that is a $2 million, boom, Luke, a $2 million tax-free opportunity for business owners, Now look, let's just say you are smart, because you are, and you've got assistance and help because you are investing in that, right? Imagine this, imagine you ended up with a $2 million capital gains tax-free PPR at some point in the future, because you're on track for that right now. And if you're not, you should be. Let me know if you need some help with that. You owned 4 properties outright and you're earning tax-free income there. They're worth $2 million as well, worth $2 million tax-free. Over here, you've got a couple of properties each. So you've got another 2 properties worth, 1.7 million over here. And then, you've got a business. So you add it up, 2 million, 4 million, call it 6 million, call it $8 million or thereabouts, if you have a planned strategy that you could have, team, you could have in your portfolio, which has some super tax efficiency. There you go. Everyone has a little whinge, and I do too. I have a bit of a whinge about the amount of taxes we pay on the way through. I think they're significantly over the top. However, there are opportunities right here on this page that we can plan to be efficient into the future. Okay? So how do we do that? I've got 1 or 2 minutes to finish this off for you guys, but you can see it's got some depth in it. You can see the depth in this team, can't you? Okay? So we need to turn our earnings into assets. Okay? This is the foundation piece of what we do. Foundation. Okay? Right now, if you're there at home and you're creating income in your business, or you're creating income in your salary, or whatever it is, you must turn earnings into assets. Those assets start to create some profits. Your positive cash flow after tax, your equity grows, whatever it is, and that turns into wealth. Okay? That wealth grows. We've talked about this before. That as that wealth grows, you can use that wealth to accelerate your income. All right? Earnings into assets, 1 property, 2 property, 3 properties, 5, 10 properties. They now create profits, and the wealth in those grow. You can accelerate by understanding how to take some extra risk, so a little bit more risk, to increase your income. Okay? That's what you can do. And then you get a choice with your exit plan. Your exit, your money, buys back your time, and that's done through profits and wealth. All right? I hope that makes sense, because look at this. We've got our principal place of residence strategy. How does that run? We've got our personal, so your name, personal strategy. How does that run? Okay. Your super strategy. How does that run? Okay. And your business strategy. How does that run? You should have 4 strategies, independent and separate, wealth plans for each one of these, team. Each one of these. All right? There are 4 opportunities to make this work. And if you don't have those 4 plans going, 3 minimum, 3 minimum if you're PAYG, 4 absolutely if you're a business owner. Okay? You should have those plans all running side by side. And some are running faster than others at some point, sometimes. That is the way it works, okay? We've got to make sure that it is working for us as we go along. See, this business one, though, it's an interesting one for some of you in the PAYG world, I can show you how to create a property business. Have a listen to this. I can show you how to create a property business in the future when your wealth, see this accelerate section, when you've got enough wealth to create a property business, folks, you can turn your PAYG world into a small business world, and I can show you some really cool things in that space too, let me tell you. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully that makes sense. A lot of scribbles on a page, but there you go. Yeah, they do waste money, Ellison. I completely agree with you on that one, mate. That is for sure. But there you go, folks. I think we've done the five models. I reckon I could probably do an hour on each of these models, to be honest. I think rather than 20 minutes in the morning. But we shall see. We shall see. Thanks, Renee. So listen, this is not, technically, shivers. Yeah, it's not rocket science, team. This is right here, right now. Every single Australian has access to these tax laws and these tax maneuvers. It doesn't mean that the governments won't try and change them in the future, and I'm sure they will. But right now, this is right at your fingertips, okay? Smart strategy as part of your plan is super, super important. There you go. All right, team, that's it. Done and dusted. Wealth Coffee Chat for Monday, the 29th of August, almost the end of the month. Hope you've got what you wanted to get done for the month. Good question, Luke. It depends on what you're up to. Can you rent out a property brought in a business and still claim no tax on the sale? The answer's maybe, depends on how you structure it and who you rent it to and how it's all done. Okay, so maybe just send me a little note, Luke, as a little bit of maybe just put some bullet points there for me, and I'll answer you in a bit of a chat. Send me a Facebook message and I'll come back to you on maybe some details if you're asking it in a specific way. All right, folks, done and dusted. You guys be awesome. Be well. Join me tomorrow for another Wealth Coffee Chat. Till then, take care. Bye for now. Remember, buy well, never sell, or, well, sell strategically, especially if it's tax efficient. And, this thing's a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time to get this done. But if you don't start, it'll never happen. So let's get on with it. All right, if you need help, shout out. I'm just rabbiting on now. I'm going. You guys be awesome. There you go. Bye for now.